How's it going, everyone? I'm Dono and this is How to Happy. In this video we're going to be talking about a little relationship technique that you can use, which is called the keeping in touch schedule. So for a lot of us, we have these relationships that are really good, and then over time people start going in different directions, the relationships kind of fall apart, and there's probably a list of people in your life that you used to be in really good touch with that you're not anymore just because things kind of drifted apart, but that you would still like to be in touch with. So a cool little technique that you can use is to have a keeping in touch schedule. Now, for a lot of you who do this naturally, who just naturally reach out to people and remember, might sound a little bit strange or contrived or burdensome, but for those of us like me who often forget to do a lot of these things, this has been a huge lifesaver. The main idea here is that when you have a relationship that you want to keep up on, but you may not see the person all the time, or for whatever reason you don't keep in contact as much as you'd like to, you set yourself a reminder in your calendar to follow up with this person at a certain time. Now, when I say follow up, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. You can just check in, whatever it is that you want to do, and at whatever frequency feels best for you. But basically you set yourself the timer and you say, okay, Thursday, I'm gonna talk to this person. Then when Thursday comes around, you get your notification on your calendar, which I know a lot of us live out of our calendars. You get it through your calendar or on your phone or however you've set it, and it just reminds you, hey, make sure you reach out to this person. Now, one caveat when using this is you probably don't want to set too many people for each day or really get your calendar so full that all you're doing all day is just kind of reaching out to different people. But it may not be a bad idea to have multiple people on the same day, right? So maybe 2, but not 10, because one of the people may not respond. So by doing this, you ensure that you maintain a lot of these relationships. Not only is that going to be helpful in terms of keeping the relationships alive, but a lot of times the more connections that you nurture, the more opportunities that you find and that come up, right? You might be catching up with somebody, you're looking to write a book or something, they know someone who's a publisher, yada, 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 right? So on top of keeping your relationships alive, it's going to open up more opportunities for you because people just know people. You'll have more access to resources. Now, to be fair, I don't use these kinds of reminders for every single person I meet, right? It'd be overwhelming. There's people that I see every day that I don't need a reminder to stay in touch with them. But the main 2 use cases I use it for are, like I was saying, these older relationships that I want to revive and make sure that we stay in touch. And I also use this with people that I meet, that I've just met for the first time that I want to keep in touch with. If I don't want to keep in touch with them, then, we'll just kind of let things go. But if it's someone that I feel like I can provide a lot of value to, or they can provide a lot of value to me, or a little bit of both, then I try to set up the schedule so that I'm talking to them close to proximity when I met them, right? So if I meet someone, I don't want the next time that I talk to them, if there's someone I want to get to know better, to be 3 months down the line when I remember. So a lot of times with these new relationships, I'll set myself a reminder for, a week later, or maybe a week and a half, so that I can keep in touch with them and keep building up that relationship. That has been really helpful because these are people and relationships that would otherwise slip by and not really be built up. On top of that, it is only really for people that I feel like I want to continue connecting with, right? I don't do this with every single person. Going off of that note, it makes sense to set your reminders based on the strength of the relationship, right? So if you knew someone really well for 5 years, you might only need to catch up with them once a month, once every other month. But if it's someone that you just met, you might need to keep the connection a little bit stronger as you build deeper bonds so that they can transfer over a longer period of time. It's totally up to you. It has everything to do with just what kind of relationships you want to build, where you want to go with them, what level of depth, how much time you're willing to spend, all that stuff. But it's just something to keep in mind. There's no hard and fast rule. I don't say like, okay, I make sure to follow up every week. It really depends on the relationship and what I'm trying to accomplish with that person. Another thing to think about is that sometimes if you, start implementing this, but it's with acquaintances that you had years ago, you may not want to set too fast of a schedule, and you may want to feel out where the relationship is now, right? If it's someone that you knew 5 years ago for a couple weeks and you want to get back in touch with them, start slow, right? Pick your first time, catch up with them, but see where it goes from there. If the connection's still there and it's really strong, then maybe you'll want to follow up more frequently. If not, you may want to reevaluate and see if this is really a relationship that you want to hold on to, because the reason a lot of times that these relationships fall apart is not just memory, it's because people are going in different paths and don't connect as well as they used to. So that's something to keep in mind. One last note, this is meant to just be a reminder so that you remember to contact the people that you want to be in touch with. If it starts feeling like a chore and you're really, just dreading every single time one of these comes up, like, oh great, I have to talk to this guy now I have to talk to this person, then don't use the technique, right? Don't make this a schedule for yourself that you absolutely hate and you just have to continue doing it even though it's a drag, right? As with a lot of the things we talk about, it's just another tool that you can potentially implement to increase the strength of your relationships. So that's just one tip or technique that you can use to try to stay up on your relationships, keep in touch with people. If you have any tips or ideas that you use, we'd love to hear them. But beyond that, let's move into the exercise section. So number 1, think of someone you'd like to reconnect with and reach out to them. 2, schedule a time into your calendar to talk to them again. That's all that I've got for this video. So as always, if you have any questions, comments, topics you want me to cover, feel free to put them down in the box below, and I will see you next time.
You can check out more content at howtohappy.com. Also, don't forget to subscribe so you can stay up to date on the videos. We've also got a Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook that you can check out. Reflect, take action, and enjoy life. See you next time.